Hi all, Hal here with more Empyrion, and today is kind of an offbeat, off process update because, well, 7.0 dropped, and I wanted to show you what's going on here, and so we're going to get started. So let's go. Okay, so, yeah, 7.0 has dropped. It is on the experimental build. For those who do not know how to get to it, if you right-click on Empyrion on the Steam launcher, you will see a Properties tab. You click on the Properties, and in the window that will appear on the right-hand side, there will be a tab called Betas. Click on that. And then there will be an option there that says experimental or opt-out. Set it to experimental and Steam will download the update. So yeah, this is rather nuts, actually. This is epic. Okay, so I have all of the options turned all the way up, and I'm going to show you why. Right now we're getting about 20 frames a second. So now, I think everybody knows I've got a pretty decent computer. Oh, look, they did update. They updated the showers too. Let's turn the light on here so you can see. Nice texture change. I like that. Can you actually get into them now? Oh, you can actually walk into them now. Look at that. Oh. So you get a little bit of audio, but nothing... At least you can walk into them. Okay, so I'm going to turn the light out so you get the full effect of this. Now, the only thing that I have changed in this area is applying the update. I haven't changed any of the textures. So what you're seeing here, this is what the new textures look like. Look at this. They've actually gone with I'm hesitant to call it a bump map image. But basically what they've done is they've allowed you to now start applying a texture, not just the image of a texture, to the block. So all of these things are basically rendered with shadows. It's really interesting. I'm actually enjoying this. So to the guys over at Empyrion, well done, gentlemen and ladies and everybody else. Attack helicopters, whatever you may happen to be. Seriously, jokes aside, to the crew, amazing job. They have updated things such as the lights. They now have a new texture on them. Everything is much more detailed. The old electrical panels have been replaced. As you can see, everything is kind of much darker now. So we actually have, like, the piping and things are run through. Let me show you the hangar. If you remember what the hangar looked like. Alright, so our command deck, let me turn this off. The light blocks actually emit light now. Like an annoying amount of light, actually. I've had to turn off, I should say, some of the lights in the ship. Because, yeah. So not only do these textures now have a small light admittance, but your actual lights are also a source. So yeah, it gets really bright really quickly. Now the funny thing is that the textures, when you get up to them, now remember this is a experimental build, a very early sample of the 7.x series of application, so there's all sorts of like little graphic issues, but as you can see when you're stepping away from these, you can actually see some of, well, you obviously see texture tearing in there, but you can see that these are actually raised textures on the blocks now. So when you come to the side here, you see they are actually raised textures, but what I think they're doing is they're kind of cheating it. They're applying basically a 3D image, because you see how that goes in there. But they're basically applying a window into a 3D image on this as your surface texture. It's an interesting workaround on it to allow you to do this. But yeah, it's actually pretty cool. Now, one of the big changes that they've made that I really appreciate. Can I do it on this one? Okay, I can't do it on this one. Can I do it on this one? No, I can't do it on that one either. Alright, so some of the textures you can now actually flip. Let's see if we can find one. No, that one's not going to do it. Weird, I just had it working a second ago. Probably go upstairs. I'll turn the light on so you can see down here. So for the most part, a lot of things have not changed texture-wise. They've just updated some things. One of the biggest changes to textures is this thing. That's the new warp drive. And it is rather epic. Now, I actually liked the old warp drive model. But this is definitely more of their own design here. The old warp drive was, you know, basically a, I think it was a purchased asset. I don't even think it was a, like something that they built internally. But as you can see, yeah, this thing has changed a lot. And that texture, like I said, it fits with the overall theme of what's going on in the game. But I kind of missed the old warp drive. Oh well. It is what it is, right? Okay. So, as I said before, if you notice with all of the new textures and everything, it has become a little bit chunky in the game. Now, this is because I have shadows turned all the way up. If you turn the shadows down, you will lose some of the detail level, obviously. However, let me turn this off. But if you turn it off, you will see an increase. I'm seeing an increase of about 100%. So I go from like 20-ish frames, and the only option that I will change is shadow quality, and we'll go to medium. We're just taking it down one step. The reason the one step has such a huge impact on it is because, as you see here, the little warning that the high mode gives you light block shadows as well. So let's go to medium. So when you turn that off, you see you get a lot more light bleed through from various areas, and the lights diffuse a little bit more. But overall, it is a rather epic update. All right. So now I know this one will do it. So it looks like the light blocks, I guess, you can flip. Oh. Let's see if that's true with all of them. Yeah, so it looks like the light blocks you can actually flip now, and there's more of them. And so, yeah, some of the new blocks, or some of the new textures, you can flip without changing the block orientation. This is actually very important, because if you're doing something where, let me find an example. We got a bunch of them outside. So if you're doing something like where you want a texture here, but you don't get it to line up quite the way you want it to, this allows you to rotate the texture without screwing up whatever your design is, basically. And see, so you can do it with some of the blocks, or some of the block textures, I should say. It might also be dependent on which block you're using. So I'm actually kind of liking this texture. A lot of the new textures to me just actually look really good. Now it'd be nice if I could choose which way I wanted it to rotate. Alright, so no. So now we have to go find new textures that look good no matter which way they're facing. Doesn't that figure? Alright. But I mean, look at that. Look at the difference in that texture. That is awesome. Seriously, folks, Eleon, you guys, you really did just completely knock this out of the park. Man, that's nice. So yeah, now I get to spend the next like a week doing nothing but, like I see, there's a couple of textures that we can't flip, which is unfortunate. So yeah, it is dependent on the block that you're using. Alright. Which is kind of unusual, actually. I would have thought that would be a little bit different, but I guess not. I think I like it better. I think I like it better like that. Let's do that. Yeah, I think I like that. Oh yes, I am actually liking that very much. Thank you. Now, one of the things that they did update, as you can see here, is the you got a little bit of a new lens flare on the thruster here. Now, I don't know if they have implemented block damage yet. We are in creative mode, so even if they did, we will probably not suffer from it here. But I will take this over into survival at some point, and we'll take a look and see. Okay, so did they? Yeah. Alright, so basically just getting these sorted out. Alright, so you guys are all good. Alright, so sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure that we had the all of the bridge glass flipped appropriately. Now, this is something that I do like, is if you're using the tool like this, the multi-tool, you get a bit more control over what you're doing with the blocks. You don't have to be up on top of the block anymore, at least in creative mode. I haven't, like I said, I haven't tried this in survival, so I'm not sure how much of this is going to carry over and how much of it won't. But I have to say, from what I am seeing so far, I'm really, really liking this update. They've done an amazing job with the changes to the blocks. So much better. Okay, so it doesn't look like anything block-wise got messed up in any way. But having the three-dimensional textures on the blocks again, really liking this. Okay. Now, one of the other things that they have changed, let's do this, and actually, no, this one? Yes. So what they've changed is you can now apply textures to larger areas. So as long as you're doing something, like if you're doing the exterior of a ship, you're going to be able to apply texture much faster without having to constantly go back and retouch everything. Right. Much faster. Now, do be careful with this, because as you can see here, it just tagged a couple of these. So what you're going to need to do is, when you're doing this stuff, pay attention to what you're doing, because it will come back and haunt you. And I still can't get into that one, so I'm gonna have to take that apart in order. It's just basically popping the engine out of there. And all right, so you are that texture, yeah. And we did. Oh. That's unfortunate. So we're not going to be able to swap that one. Yeah, so it looks like not all of these are fully updated yet. Can we get away with that? Oh, see, if it was... Both of those were pointing in the... If I could get it to flip... No. No. Alright. Okay, we'll just go with the old standby until we can get those textures to face the way we want them to. I may need, maybe if I take these blocks out, it'll work. I don't know. We'll give it a try. But yeah, so this is basically what they've been updating. Gonna have to come back here and redo these. And I think we did that, right? Okay. And grab this one. And we're going to grab this one. Okay, so I think that is... How did you get... Okay, now you guys were all in the same direction before. What the hell happened? See? Because you're all facing the same way here. Oh, really? All right. See, they all face the same way. These were all facing the same way before, but for some reason, when it changed... So let's try changing the texture. And back. Well, what about if we do this one? Okay, that is just random. Alright. So, even with the miscellaneous crap like that going on, I'm still going to say great job on the rest of it. It is unfortunate that there are still a few bugs, but like I said, this is still very early in the process. So you should expect to see some issues, and I mean, you're going to run into them. There's just nothing you can do about it. So if you're not ready to deal with the potential problems, you won't want to be on the experimental branch, because you're going to see a lot of stuff like this, and you are probably going to see a lot of changes as time goes on before this is pushed live, because as we said, it is a very early build, and they have already said that they are planning on doing a few things. See? Now, all of those were lined up before. So it's something about the texture. Okay, so let me try something over here. So it's got to be something about what the texture is that it's connecting to. Yeah, see? That's what it is. It's the connecting. Oh, look at that. That is like completely random. Holy crap. Well, at least we know how to fix it, right? So basically, if you run into a problem with your texture, choose your texture again and flip the texture on the front face, apparently. That is just too funny. Alright, so if we do this and we hit this one, okay, that is completely bloody random. But it worked. We're going to leave it alone, and we're going to go run away. All right, so I'm not going to touch it. We're going to go this way now. Anyway, I want to thank you all for stopping in. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to throw them down in the section below. And if you haven't done so already, and you want to see more, be sure to follow, or you should be subscribed. Spending a little too much time on Twitch lately, apparently. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Have a terrific week. And, yeah, see you back here next time for more Empyrion. As always, folks, take care and be safe out there, everybody. All right. And now we get to go play with the rest of 7.0.